Real quick before I get into my week, because I've got a question for everybody. Want to say, Michaela made it. Never fear, she's here. Michaela, my niece, is always here. She's like a character on the show, much like Dan DeLay. Hers are always Target. On cue. What is on cue? What is
or Casey's?
Or Casey's or Dutch Bros or Seven Brew. Yeah, for sure. Those are her charges. It's funny. That's actually a funny question. What are your like all the time charges that you?
Yeah, reoccurring charges.
Mine's Amazon, or it was until I started really trying to back off. Jose, hey Jose,
got my Cliff Burton Day shirt on. One of the 2 designs. I love this one. This is badass to me.
That is very.
It's Cliff Burton in action playing bass. So that's cool.
Awesome. On cue is a gas station. Dan DeLay, have a great day, buddy. Love you as well.
Thank you, everyone, for chiming in.
Yes. Okay. So I have a parenting dilemma. It's something that we're dealing with Cody, and I'm going to throw it out to anyone for advice, parent or not parent. So he's dealing with some struggles in math. And I have said before, jokingly, but this is not exactly a joke. Like, math is not my number one subject. Like, I was very good at spelling. I love to read. Grammar is usually a good thing for me. I loved history, big history nerd, but like math was just like my blind spot.
I was the opposite. I was good in math, but like grammar stuff, I was bad at.
Yeah. So you just made English. My point that I'm trying to make to Cody. I'm going to show him that you just said that because he's frustrated because he thinks because he has a hard time with math that he's dumb. Right. It's like, like I'm dumb. Right. And so last night I was like, buddy, listen. First of all, this is okay. I know he's my kid, so let me be that parent for a second. But you know, Cody, I mean, you're his uncle. He's a smart kid. Mm-hmm. This kid he's wise beyond his years. He's very mature. He's very smart, definitely very street smart. I mean, he's traveled his whole life with us. Like he's an easy kid. Math is just a blind spot for him. So I was telling him last night, I'm like, these were mommy's strengths. These were daddy's strengths. Like trying to show him that you're not good at everything. Like, and this kid is a kid that can pick up an instrument and learn it in like a week, you know? So he's got a lot going for him. Math isn't one of them. So I just am struggling on how like to help build up his confidence. Because he just thinks because he's not good in math, but his, friends in his class, they get A's, that he thinks like, well, I'm dumb. Like I'm just giving up. And it's so hard.
Yeah, well, first off, I know like for us, you and I, when we're just dealing with people in general, I feel like there's always like that debate of like 2 types of smarts. There's like book smart and street smart. Yeah. I mean, book smart people are like just really good doing assignments, homework assignments, paying attention in class, doing projects, whatever, those practical things. And then there's street smarts, people who I think know how to hustle and get by in life and deal with people or deal with situations. Like for me, I've always considered myself really book smart, which shockingly maybe some people don't believe that. But as you saw my transcript from Encinal High School, I was a very good student.
He literally went back a couple weeks ago and got the transcript, which is amazing.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Sorry, meeting on air. They hit me up. They want to come by the station. They actually do want to come by. So I thought, remember we talked about this, I think a couple podcasts ago. Maybe we should do an episode with these kids. That'd be fun talking radio. All right. Anyway, but yes. But like street smart, I feel like I needed to learn. Like my dad has always been really good street smart. And he's always told me like tips. Like he used to tell me.
Your dad is a street fighter.
Yeah, totally. But he would tell me like, if you're like going somewhere you're not used to, just act like you belong and people won't mess with you. And I've always remembered that. That's always been like one of his big advice to me. Just act like you belong, blend in, which is, I know, tough for me at 6'4", but yes, I make it work. But I will say this for Cody specifically, and this is something I learned while taking psychology in high school with shout out Mr. Bell, Encinal High School, which I think you met Mr. Bell at the Concord Pavilion.
I remember that. Yes,
my old teacher. Yeah. I remember in psychology, we went over this whole thing. There are 7 degrees of intelligence.
Oh, okay.
So, and actually I just did a quick Google search. I don't know if this is the exact same one. It was called Howard Gardner's Theory of Multiple Intelligence. Identifies 7 distinct types of intelligence. There's linguistic, logical, mathematical, spatial, musical, bodily, kinetic. No,
kinesthetics.
Kinesthetic, yes.
Yes.
Interpersonal and intrapersonal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have time, you can read up all this stuff.
But yes, send me that link. I want to read up about that. That's really cool.
There are 7 forms of intelligence. So that's my one advice to Cody. He might not be feeling he's good at one thing, but as you said, he could pick up an instrument just like that and play it and learn. That is a form of intelligence, a higher intelligence.
Great. Look at you, Uncle Danny, coming in with I love that. Well, going back to what you just said. Yes. Good job, Uncle Danny. What you just said about the street smart, book smart thing, I have to be careful because I don't want to offend anybody. I won't use any names. But a girl I went to high school with was highly intelligent. She was like one of the top in the class. And by the way, I just want to put it out there since you're talking about your transcript. I did graduate with honors from college and high school. But I had to Thank you. But I had to work for it. Like it didn't come easy for me in math specifically. And I really had to study, really had to work for it.
Okay.
But she was Oops. This is gonna be mean. Sorry. I don't mean to be mean. So
Casey. Hey Casey.
Hey Casey.
Thank you for the hat. Thank you for the hat, Casey.
Casey, when we're done, you'll have to rewind. We gave you guys a shout out for his drawing. So, oh shoot, what was I saying?
The girl.
The girl. She was super book smart. I mean, like she didn't have to study for a test; she could just whip it out. But as far as street smarts, dumb as a box of rocks. Like nothing going up there. It was like wind was going through her head. She was so flighty, like nothing.
There's people we've known that like we could tell are really smart, but when they're out in social gatherings, they don't know how to read a room properly. Yeah. So they're like, we could tell they're very highly intelligent people, but what they're in certain situations, they don't know how to like deal with it properly. So it's like, they're good, maybe the book smart, but like in social events, whatever, they're like overstepping boundaries or just don't know how to read the room and like, okay, let's not deal with that right now or go with that, I'm trying to be vague here, but you know.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I mean, if we're taking a vote, I vote for street smart because that usually comes with a level of communication. Communication, easy for me to say, a level of communication, a level of blending in. And Cody is very good at that. Like, I think you can attest to this. He's 8. Oh, he'll be 9 in June very soon, but he's 8 and he looks people in the eye, like adults in the eye. He has conversation. He can talk back and forth. And we're raising him to be that way very specifically. Like, that's a big thing with us.
Well, like when, was it last month? We were at the Pinball Museum in Alameda. Yeah. Him and I were off to an area and we were just talking and he's like, I like hanging out with you. I'm like, yeah, man, I like hanging out with you too.
Yeah.
So, but like we're having a conversation and he like, we're playing pinball and stuff. And then we went back to go find you guys. And like I could tell he knows how to be independent and like engage with people. So
I would rather have a kid like that may struggle in a certain department in school versus having like a hyper intelligent book smart kid that like cannot get through life and has a hard time.
So that is, I think, interpersonal intelligence. This intelligence involves the ability to understand and interact effectively with others. Let's see, people with strong interpersonal intelligence are often good at communication, leadership, and empathy.
I have to say, I have a degree in interpersonal communications. Yeah. That was what I graduated college from. So there you go. Michaela, I cannot tell you who it is, but it very well may be who you're thinking. My niece Michaela is trying to out the person I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you walking me through that because that's been a big deal in our life lately.